Hello everyone, it's nice to have you with me. Welcome to Mathematics with Mr. Ofem. Today we are going to be learning how to convert between units of weight. Convert from the lower unit, that's milligrams, to the higher units, that's grams and centigrams. Okay, so I'll see you at the end of the class. Okay, so before we convert weight, like every other quantity we've been converting, before we convert weight, we have to take note of the different conversion keys in converting weight. Okay, now here we have either we are converting from a lower to a higher unit or from a higher to a lower unit. Okay, now what are the lower units to higher units? Milligram is lower than centigram, so converting from milligram to centigram, you divide by 10. Converting from centigram to gram, you divide by 100. And converting from gram to kilogram, you divide by 1000. Now, what does it mean to divide by a multiple of 10? You take away zeros or you add a decimal point. Okay, if you are dividing by 10, you take away 1 0. If you are dividing by 100, you take away 2 zeros. And if you are dividing by 1000, you take away 3 zeros. Now, if there is no zero to take away, then you introduce your point. Now, when converting from higher to lower, you multiply by 10. So from centigram to milligram, you multiply by 10. From gram to centigram, you multiply by 100. And then from kilogram to gram, you multiply by 1000. What does it mean to multiply by a multiple of 10? You add or write zeros or you take away the decimal point. Now, if there is a decimal point, the first thing you do is to take it away instead of adding a zero. Now, once you've taken away the decimal point, you can add the remaining number of zeros. Okay? Good. Now, let's move on to the first. Okay, so first of all, we have express milligrams in centigrams. Okay, now that's converting from what? A lower to a higher unit. So what are we doing? We are dividing by 10. Okay, so 80 milligrams to centigrams is going to be what? Remember, we are using this key. Milligram to centigram divide by 10 or take away 1 0. Okay, so let's just keep this here so that we can make reference. Alright, so 80 milligrams is going to be what? It's going to be 80 divided by 10 in centigrams. Okay, and this is going to give you what? Taking away a 0, this is going to give you what? This is going to give us 8 centigrams. Okay, 255 milligrams to centigrams is going to give us what? 255 divided by 10. Now, there is no 0 to take away here. So what do? When we take away a 0, we add our decimal point. So our answer is going to be 25.5 centigrams. Okay, now let's move on to the next. Express the centigrams in grams. Now, centigrams to grams, you divide by 100, or what do? You remove 2 zeros, okay? So 500 centigrams is going to be 500 divided by 100. Okay, take away 2 zeros and we are going to be left with what? 5 grams. Right? Okay, now what next? 5,550 centigrams. Converting it to grams, we are going to still be dividing by 100. So this is going to be what? 5,550 divided by 100. 100. You take away a 0. Now there is no 0 to take away here. So to take away a 0 means to introduce a decimal point. So this is going to be what? 55.5 grams. Okay, now let's move on. We are going to convert from grams to kilograms. Okay, now we start with 6,000 grams. Now, what do we do when we convert from grams to kilograms? Grams to kilograms means what? We divide by 1,000 or we take away 3 zeros. Okay, so this is going to be 6,000 divided by 1,000. Take away 3 zeros. And we are going to be left with what? 6 kilograms. Now, how about 15,800 grams? Can we convert it to kilograms? Yes, we divide it by 1,000. So this would be 15,800 divided by 1,000. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. There's no more 0 to remove. So what do? We put our decimal point. So our answer is going to become what? 15.8 kilograms. Okay, 15.8 kilograms. Okay, now let's move on to the next. We finished converting from lower to higher units. Now let's convert from higher to lower units. Okay, first of all, let's express centigrams in milligrams. So 7 centigrams, let's express it in milligrams. And what do? Centigrams to milligrams, we multiply by 10 or we write a 0. Okay, so 7 centigrams is going to be what? 7 times 10 in milligrams, which is going to give us what? 7 times 10 is basically 7, which is 0 after 8 milligrams, and that is our answer. Okay, while 12 centigrams is going to be what? 12 times 10 milligrams. So this is going to give us what? 12 with a 0 after 8, which is going to give us what? 120 milligrams. Okay, simple enough, right? I knew you would say that. Alright, now let's move on to the next. Expressing grams in centigrams. Okay, so now grams to centigrams is what? Multiply by 100 or write 2 zeros after. So this is going to be 3 times 100 centigrams. Alright, so this is going to give us what? 3 with 2 zeros or 300 centigrams. Okay, now how about 17 grams in centigrams? This is going to be 17 times 100 centigrams. So this is going to be what? 17 with 2 zeros after 8 is what? 1700 or 1700 centigrams, and that is the answer. Finally, in our conversion from a higher to a lower unit of weight, we have expressing kilograms in grams. And what is that going to give us? Okay, so apologies for that, a correction had to be made. So we are converting or expressing the kilograms in grams. We have 16 kilograms and 3.5 kilograms. Okay, so now when we are changing from kilograms to grams, we multiply by 1000 or we write 3 zeros. Okay, so this is going to be what? 16 times 1000 grams, okay, which is basically going to be 16 followed by 3 zeros, that is 16,000 grams. Okay, the next question is a bit more interesting. We have 3.5 kilograms. There's a point there. So it's going to still be what? 3.5 times 1,000 grams. Okay, so this is going to give us what? Now there's a decimal point here, so we remove the decimal point, giving us 35, and by removing the decimal point means we have used one of the zeros, so it's going to be 35 times 100 grams. Okay, now there is no decimal point, we can simply write 35 followed by 2 zeros, so that is the answer, 3,500 grams. And with that, we come to the end of this exercise. Okay, so thank you very much for staying with me to the end of this class. I hope you learned one or two things. Remember, when we are converting from a lower to a higher unit, we divide by 10 or multiples of 10. But when we are converting from a higher to a lower unit, we multiply by 10 or multiples of 10. Alright, now I'm going to see you in the Zoom class or Zoom meeting. And of course, you can always interact with me in the Google Classroom. See you next time. Have a wonderful day and bye.